Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another day of the video. Darren, how's it going today? Today, I talk to you on a motorway, live. We've been here for a good 20-ish minutes and I've now decided, like, that's it, we're going to be here for a while. I may as well vlog, let's make the most of the time, eh? He's not interested. Anyway, what's been going on today? Today we got up at 7:30. Alarm woke me up very quickly, and then got up out of bed at 8, and I sorted out my video before having breakfast and then like getting ready for the day. We've been doing some admin work today and a bit of programming, helping Laura out a little bit and then programming. I'm currently well, hang on. Yeah, I'm currently working on a bit at the moment where, like, there are some fields that are in my DTOs. I have a DTO which contains a number of other DTOs, and I was going to have that like populated via the service that's responsible for returning the main DTO. And then, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're home at last. We just sat on the M32 for about half an hour because a month after they released the speed limit back up to national speed limit instead of the like roadworks speed limit, some fool decides to crash and mangle his car in a way that we couldn't even notice how. But yeah, everyone seemed alright. There was no ambulance or anything. They just sat at the side of the road like fucking hoodlums or something. But anyway, we're back. What was I talking about before I got interrupted? Instead, what I've done with that data, instead of getting the thing to calculate it out and figure it out, at which point it kind of has to be done in an area where it doesn't really make much sense. It'll be like in the testing service, or like it's not ideal where it is. Basically, I've figured out that the DTO can basically calculate all that information itself on the fly. So as you put more stuff into it, it calculates the top bit. As you add more test results to the test run details, it calculates it itself instead of something else having to calculate it for it and then putting it in, which I thought was quite a clever idea. But yeah, so I did that, and I'm now going through the process of writing a test to make sure that I'm passing the results back from the processors. That test is a quite difficult test to run because the threads are being run asynchronously, like they run asynchronously in a different loop, so I'm quite far away from it. So I have to like do quite a lot of setup. It's actually the longest test I've ever written. Well, I say longest. It's taken me the longest amount of time. It's quite like succinct, but there's quite a lot of like, I've got to store this piece of information so that I can see that in this, so that means I can return the right thing from this, which means it gives me the result thing that I can then test to make sure it returns. So it's kind of a pain in the neck. It normally means you've got to refactor stuff if you have a test like this, but it's not too bad. Could be better. Could be better. I think the main problem is the fact that the task.run is something that I use at some point along there, and I can't mock that. If I could, that would probably save the day. But yeah, otherwise we're doing that. We then went to lunch. Did a closed wash well. Went to lunch, and then we went off out to Cribs to go shopping. Laura's looking at bikes because she's looking at getting a bike on the like cycle to work scheme thing, which I can look at now as well. I've been at my workplace for like, so I can look at that as well now. It looks like it's the kind of thing where you pick what you want beforehand, ask for the voucher, and then you go and get it because it's like basically tax free, and then you pay it back to your workplace in monthly instalments like your paycheck and stuff. I went up to look at that, and then also to look in Hugo Boss because I'd seen some coats that looked good online, but got there in person and they didn't look good. So I'm still on the hunt for my fucking coat. And then we drove home and spent about, how long did it take us to drive back, Bubba?
Over an hour. It wasn't
over an
o'clock when we left Cribs.
Yeah, so over an hour it took us. It's normally like 15-minute drive on the motorway. And we're driving down the motorway and you just see all the lights and you're like, oh no, this is going to be some time. But they closed the motorway for a bit, which wasn't good. Right. And we're calling it, ladies and gentlemen. When we, wait, what, hang on. What's the thing we did? We came back from town, that was after lunch. What did we do? After lunch, we made a cup of tea and whatnot, and then I was trying to decide whether to do some programming or not, and I was like, you know what? There's one game I haven't played on Xbox, and I played Fallout for an hour, and it was really good. It was really nice just to just chill out for a little bit. So I enjoyed doing that, although it did take out an hour. I didn't feel guilty about it till after. I was then feeling guilty about having fun. Get off my own back. Anyway there, ladies and gentlemen, after that we cooked dinner, which involved a short trip up to Morrison's because we forgot to buy sweet corn for our tuna and pasta bake. We had our tuna and pasta bake, and then we did a little bit of programming. I managed to finish off that test. It's actually not all that bad, that test. It's just like there's a couple of weird nuances in the sense that the thing that I've got control of a mock, but I'm not actually the thing, like I use a try pass to populate something, but the thing that it's passing it to it is also populating it, so it's kind of like, it's just weird. And then there's also an asynchronous number of things, and it just took me a while to figure out like how to set the mocks up properly so that it would do it, but it's all good, it's in, which officially means that I'm now getting the results back out in the right format out of the testing service, the testing leg of the program, which means all I need to do is commit it, check it in. After like a little bit of polishing, I should be able to move on to the last bit, which in theory will be unchanged from the test, from the original one, because it already used .NET Core technologies. Previously, obviously this is all like a migration from .NET Framework Full to .NET Core. The .NET Core, this module leveraged things that were .NET Core long ago, so it should be a lot more trivial. But it was also the one that was arguably not finished, so it was like the one that could expand the most, so there's going to be a bit of work around making it bigger and bigger and bigger. So the end is in sight for version 1.1. Otherwise, Laura and I then played a little bit of Overcooked before we're watching something on Amazon Video, which is like The Man in the High Castle or something like that. It's very good, but it's fucking confusing as hell. So we're trying to figure out what's going on there. I might have to watch another episode of that tomorrow, but Sherlock's on tomorrow, so maybe not. What is going on tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen? Tomorrow we're having a pottering day. We've got a couple of things we want to potter and do. We've got to sort out, like we're going to clean a little bit. The oven, Graham, washing, gym, working. Lots to do. So come back tomorrow. I'll catch you later.